page number 9, the middle of the paragraph, you have one paragraph there. Well, they were married and they settled down in a tiny whitewashed house in the middle of a handsome vineyard. So that paragraph we have already seen. In that they were saying that they are giving character study of both Salvatore first, afterwards Asunda. So Salvatore was able to forgive the girl who cheated him or who gave hand, but Asunda was not so. She could never forgive a girl who said no to such a wonderful person like Salvatore. So we'll go to next paragraph. Shall we begin? Ready. It was a hard enough life. All through the fishing season, towards evening, he set out in his boat with one of his brothers for the fishing grounds. It was a long pull of 6 or 7 miles, and he spent the night catching the profitable cuttlefish. Then there was the long row back again in order to sell the catch in time, for it is for to sell the catch in time for it to go on the early boats to Naples. At other times he was working in his vineyard from dawn till the heat drove him to rest, and then again when it was a trifle cooler till dusk. Often his rheumatism prevented him from doing anything at all, and then he would lie about the beach, smoking cigarettes with a pleasant word for everyone, notwithstanding the pain that racked his limbs. The foreigners who came down to bathe and saw him there said that these Italian fishermen were lazy devils. Okay, we'll take up one by one. It was a hard enough life. The author is making a statement. It was a hard enough life. Which was a hard enough life? The life of Salvatore, his daily core, his daily routine was very hard. All through the fishing season, towards the evening, he set out in his boat with one of his brothers for the fishing ground. So he used to take one of his brothers. How many brothers did he have? 2. One of them he would take along with him for help, and he would go to sea. When does he go? Towards the evening, not in the morning. Normally, there are fishermen who go at night to fish. There are who go in the middle of the night. Some go early morning hours. Those who fishing in the daytime are less. Most of the people are either late evening or sometimes early morning is more. So he goes in the evening. He set out in his boat. Set out means start. He started in his boat with one of his brothers for the fishing ground. It was a long pull of 6 or 7 miles, and he spent the night catching the profitable cuttlefish. It was a long journey, not very nearby. To get fish, he has to go to the inner sea. In the periphery of the sea, you will have less fish, or most of the people will be catching fish towards the shore. So you'll have a less number of fishes. So Salvatore used to go into the deep sea, 6 to 7 kilometers. And he spent the night catching the profitable cuttlefish. So his catching fish was done in the night time. And what fish did he catch? Cuttlefish. Cuttlefish is one of the variety of fishes, which is very costly, very tasty, and there's a lot of demand, and it is sold out for a huge amount. So he used to catch cuttlefish. Then there was the long row back again. What is this row back? ROW row means? Rowing. this rowing bank. So he has to, everything is done with hand, it's not mechanized boats. It's done with the rowing, is done with the hand. Very, very tough work. So he has to row back again in order to sell the catch in time for it to go on the early boat to Naples. He has to get back. Not only he has to go 7 miles, catch the fish, then he has to get back fast. In time, he should reach before the boats to Naples leave. Come back in order to sell the catch in time for it means for the fish to go on the early boat to Naples. Only if he comes on time before the boats go to Naples, he'll be able to sell them and they'll be able to take the fish to Naples. So the fish which was caught by Salvatore was taken or sold in Naples, exported. At other times, he was working in his vineyard from dawn till the heat drove him to rest, and then again, when it was a trifle cooler, till dusk. So hard working means hard work, strenuous work, terrible thing. The whole night he'll be fishing, and he has to get back before the dawn to send the fish to Naples. And the daytime, did he sit idle? Yes, I have caught enough fish and made money. Shall I take a rest in the daytime? No. Daytime he was working in the vineyard. How long did he work? He worked from the morning till the sun was up. When the heat was too much and he needed some rest, he'll take some rest. And when there is trifle cool, little cool, then he'll again start working and go on till the nightfall. So you can say, how long did he work? Dawn to dusk and dusk to dawn. Normally we say dawn to dusk means early morning to sunset. Salvatore was working from dawn to dusk and dusk to dawn. How much time did he sleep? We do not know, very little time. Unlike class 11th students, they have more time to sleep, I think. Just joking. Okay. Often his rheumatism prevented him from doing anything at all, and then he would lie about the beach, smoking cigarettes with a pleasant word for everyone, notwithstanding the pain that racked his limbs. So rheumatism is a serious disease. Already we were told, and the doctor said that will destroy him. And the girl who loved him passionately said no to him. Such was the disease called rheumatism. So there were occasions the spell of rheumatism will trouble him. So much pain of joints, all the joints. Rheumatism gives you pain for all the joints, near the ankle, near the knee, near the joints, at the waist, and the shoulder, neck, everywhere. All the joints will be pain, very painful. So there were certain days he couldn't work at all, so much paining. Then what will he do? He'll lie down on the beach and try to take little rest by smoking a cigar. And there will be people passing by. And when he sees, hello, how are you? How's the thing? He'll just inquire and a small talk and encourage everybody. He had a good word for everybody. Inside he is suffering. He is crying, he is shedding tears. But when he sees people, he'll say hello to them and appreciate them. What a wonderful person. Limbs, no, limb means, you're a biology students, all of you know, limb means body part, and leg and other things. Okay. Racked means it gives you so much of pain. You remember what you learned in racks, on the racks? Pausanias says, I am on the racks to Portia before choosing the casket. When Portia asked to wait, then he says, I am on the racks. That is, undergo terrible pain. Undergoing crucial, unbearable pain. That is on the rack. Racked his limbs means his limbs were paining. The foreigners who came down to bathe and saw him there said that these Italian fishermen were lazy devils. It should be bath and bathe. There is a difference. Bath is a noun. I took bath. Did you have bath today? Whereas bathe is verb. Bathe is verb. I bathed. I bathed in the morning. Okay. So, Italians who came to bathe and saw him there said that these Italian fishermen were lazy devils. So, what did they see? They saw Salvatore just relaxing on the beach, smoking cigarettes and lying down. They said, useless fellows, lazy fellows, they don't even work, just lying down around the beach and smoking. What an expression. So Somerset Maugham, just through one sentence, is conveying so much. Sometimes we make remarks on others without knowing the reality. Because what we see is only the peripheral. What is behind, we do not know. Can you call Salvatore a lazy fellow? Not at all. Not at all. It will be a crime. To call him a lazy person is a crime, because he was working from dawn to dusk and dusk to dawn. Only when he was suffering so much, he was taking rest, and he said, look at such a lazy fellow. Italians are lazy people. I used to have some sort of opinion about this Punjabi people, which is, you should forgive me, there are no Punjabis, no doesn't matter. So I used to think they are all jolly good fellows. They will look very gigantic, and they have this very nice appearance, and always balle balle song. I thought they are all jolly good fellows. So my sister is now in Punjab. She's staying there. So last time when I met her, she told me Punjabis are the most hardworking people in India. No other people in India work as hard as Punjabis. I was surprised. I said, is it true? Then she told me, yes. The way they work in farm, they get up early morning and start working in the farm and work up to late night. They have only nothing they do except only working and working and working, including the landowners, big landowners. Everybody works and they enjoy working. See, we have different notions about people. Sometimes without knowing the fact, we make conclusions, and at times we are prejudiced. This is a learning point for our life. Thank you. Sometimes he used to bring his children down to give them a bath. They were both boys at this time. The elder was 3 and the younger less than 2. They sprawled about at the water's edge, stark naked, and Salvatore, standing on a rock, would dip them in the water. The elder one bore it with stoicism, but the baby screamed lustily. Salvatore had enormous hands, his legs of mutton, coarse and hard from constant toil. But when he bathed his children, holding them so tenderly, driving them with delicate care, upon my word, they were like flowers. He would seat the naked baby on the palm of his hand and hold him up, laughing a little at his smallness. And his laugh was like the laughter of an angel. His eyes then were as candid as his child's. So in this paragraph, the first part is not so important. I'm not saying not important, means not so important. It means not very important, but the second part is very important. Okay. Sometimes he used to bring his children down to give them bath. Okay? He'll bring them down to give them bath. Bring them down to the sea. Bring them. They are living on the hillock, on the heights. He'll bring them down to give bath. This is his children. You remember in the beginning we have seen he was swimming and taking care of his brothers. Now they are all grown up. They help him out in boating, in fishing. But his children are there. Now he's taking care of his children. They were both boys. So the only boys were there in the family, in his family, he and his brothers. Now he also has got only two boys, no girls. They were both boys, and at this time the elder was 3 and the younger than less than 2. Less than 2. 1 year, 1.5, or in between somewhere, we don't know. Exactly not told. But then the elder was 3 and the younger one was somewhere around 2. They sprawled about at the water's edge, stark naked, and Salvatore, standing on a rock, would dip them in the water. So they sprawled about at the water's edge. Sprawl about means you just lie down by spreading your hands and legs. Yes, in some movies or some way back, if you are, I don't know whether what all things watch, I don't know. So you have seen in the beaches, because people will be just lying down, spreading their hands and legs. That is called sprawl. So these two children, they sprawled about at the water's edge, very close to the water. They are just lying down like that, stark naked. They're only 3 years and around 2 years. Nothing exciting. They're being naked, no problem. And Salvatore, standing on a rock, would dip them in the water. Salvatore is standing on a rock. Small children, he'll take them and dip them in the water and take them out. The elder one bore it with stoicism, but the baby screamed lustily. That is to say, when he took them and dipped them in the water, when you dip children in the school water, what will the children do? Some children, they don't cry at all, no feelings at all. Because some other children will just cry out. So that's what one child was very patient, another child was very expressive. That's what it means. Stoicism, there is a huge thing. If you go to net and just type stoicism, there's a huge thing inside. The Greek philosopher, coming from Greek philosophy, it's a principle based on that is you in silence and through silence and patience you control your emotions. You have so many emotions and feelings. What do? Don't express them. You just stop them, suppress them, and be patient. Everything will be okay. That is the principle called stoicism. They were great hermits. Like. There are some other people say that your emotions should be expressed. So that is stoicism. So one boy was like he was following the principle of stoics and very patiently endured, did not make any noise. But the other fellow, he screamed lustily, gave out a loud cry. Salvatore had enormous hands. Now they are speaking about Salvatore. So far, about the two children. This is important. This is the physical features of Salvatore, and another rare quality of Salvatore is being revealed in this second part of the paragraph. That's why I said the last part is important. One is physical features, another one is the soft side of Salvatore. So far, Salvatore has been presented as a hard man, a masculine side, very hardworking, swimming, doing all kinds of hard jobs. But there was a soft corner in him. There was a soft side. That's what you are going to see. Salvatore had enormous hands like legs of mutton. You know, the mutton, that is the goat or sheep. Normally, goat has got very strong legs. Strong legs. They are able to climb up the hills, searching for grass, grazing. They'll go up. Anywhere they'll manage. They'll climb on the trees also. Some of them. Very, very strong legs they have got. They can withstand any cold or anything. That's why if you are, those who eat non-veg. If you can make a mutton leg soup, it's very good for health. Okay. So there's a mutton leg is very strong. He had legs that of mutton, coarse and hard form of palm, coarse and hard from constant toil. Coarse means rough. Coarse. Coarse is rough, opposite to smooth or tender. Opposite to smooth or tender. Coarse. Sorry. Coarse means rough or hard, opposite to smooth. So coarse is rough or hard, opposite to smooth or tender. Opposite to smooth or tender. Coarse and hard from constant toil. Why he was so? His limbs and body parts, hands, legs, they were all very, very hard, very rough. Why? Because of constant toil. Toil is hard work. Toil is hard work. Toil. That's just a good word. Toil you can learn. Those who do not know. Toil. Toil is hard work. They toiled till early morning. Toiled. Because of hard work, his body parts are become coarse and hard. But when he bathed his children, holding some so tenderly, drying them with delicate care, upon my word, they were like flowers. He would see the naked baby on the palm of his hand. Okay, first we'll take it the first. What they are trying to say is there was a delicate side in Salvatore. In the character of Salvatore, there was a soft side. You have computer, you have software and something like that. Hardware is outside appearance. What is inside is different. So we had a inside Salvatore, there was a highly gentle man, a man who was very soft, who was full of feelings. That was revealed through his act of giving birth to children. Mothers giving birth to children is one of the most beautiful sights to see. The way they give them bath and take care of them. All of us will be reminded of how much our mothers loved us and how ungrateful we are to them. It reminds us. So when Salvatore gave birth to his children, it was like that. So though even though his body parts, hands, legs, and everything was very, very hard and rough, when he gave birth to his children, holding them so tenderly, so softly, drying them with delicate care, drying them with delicate care. Upon my word, I am telling you, you can believe me. Upon my word means, I assure you, whatever you say, I say, you can believe. Upon my word, they were like flowers. Who were like flowers? The children were like flowers. When you are holding them and taking how you handle flower, yes, that very, very tender. If you are very rough with flowers, they will just get, they will be destroyed. You have to handle with lot of care. So they were just like flowers in his hand. He would seat the naked baby on the palm of his hand and hold him up, laughing a little at his smallness. And his laugh was like the laughter of an angel. What he used to do, his hands are so strong. He'll take the child and keep the child in the hand and hold him like that. So a small child will be there, a tiny child, and he is so big. And he will say, oh, how small you are. How tiny you are. See, look at the child and say, oh, child, what? Such a small child you are. He laughed at the child. When he laughed, the laughter was like that of an angel. How does an angel laugh? Beautiful smile, genuine smile, pure smile. And the author concludes, his eyes then were as candid as his child. His eyes were as candid as his child. What is candid? Fearless. 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 So, no guile, without any blemish, guileless, without, that is innocent. His eyes were so genuine, so innocent. Just like the eyes of the children and the eyes of his, they were same. That means the purity of Salvatore at the beginning, we remember, he had peaceful eyes that is still kept up even when he grew old. That's all. Okay. We'll go to the next paragraph, last paragraph. I started by saying that I wondered if I could do it. Just turn back to your beginning of your lesson. The beginning of Salvatore, how they started. At that time I just made a comment. I wonder if I can do it. That's the first paragraph, just one sentence. I wonder if I can do it. That was a starting, just one sentence. I started by saying that I wondered if I could do it, and now I must tell you what it is that I have tried to do. We were not told what he was wondering. I wondered if I could do it. What is it that I'm going to tell you? I wanted to see whether I could hold your attention for a few pages while I drew for you the portrait of a man, just an ordinary fisherman who possessed nothing in the world except a quality which is the rarest, the most precious, and the loveliest that anyone can have. This was, I was wondering, whether I can hold your attention for a few pages. My story is going to be little lengthy, not so long lengthy. Some of the short stories are very long. This is not so long, but I wanted to know, I was wondering whether I will be able to hold your attention for a few pages. Did you succeed? Surely. Because the story is so moving, so impressive that he has succeeded. I wanted to see whether I could hold your attention for a few pages while I drew for you the portrait of a man. What is the meaning of drawing the portrait of a man? That's important. Drawing the portrait of a man. You are familiar with the word portrait. Last year you studied portrait. Where did you study portrait? Portia's portrait. The portrait of Portia in one of the caskets. Casket, the one who chooses the right casket will get Portia. And when Bassanio chose, the portrait of Portia was there. And we have a big lecture on the portrait. So that is meaning of portrait. So drawing means, draw the portrait means picturing a person. Drawing the portrait of a man here means drawing the qualities, presenting the qualities and characteristics of a person. Or you can say depicting a person. Depicting. So depicting the character and features of a person. Depicting the character and features of a person. That is drawing the portrait of a man. So I was wondering if I could hold your attention for a few pages while depicting the character and features of a person called Salvatore. That's what I wonder if I could do it. Just an ordinary fisherman. What kind of man? Very ordinary fisherman who possesses nothing in the world except a quality which is the rarest, the most precious, and the loveliest that anyone can have. What did he possess? He was not a rich man. He did not have a huge bungalows. He did not have a bank account running to lakhs and crores. He was not highly talented. He was not outstanding in anything, but he possessed a rare quality. You please underline those. That sentence is important. A fisherman who possesses nothing in the world except the quality which is the rarest. You underline that one. The quality, a quality which is the rarest, the most precious, and the loveliest that anyone can have. In your essays, you must be able to quote this. When the occasion demands, you must be able to quote this one. These words are important. The quality which is the rarest, the most precious, and the loveliest that anyone can have. Anyone can have. There is nothing wrong in people having this. Anybody can have. But the fact is that many do not have. You and I may not have, but Salvatore had. That is the beauty. Anybody can have. It's nothing, it's not something that people cannot have. We can have, but many do not have, but Salvatore had. Heaven only knows why he should so strangely and unexpectedly have possessed it. Quite strangely and unexpectedly. That means not expected of many. Many do not have. But how did he come to possess it? Only heaven knows. It's a real wonder. But he had. All I know is that it shone in him with a radiance that, if it had not been unconscious and so humble, would have been to the common run of men hardly bearable. How it was present in him? It was present in him in a very subtle way. Subtle, S-U-B-T-L-E, subtle. Subtle. Okay. That may be a difficult word for you. You need not use. You can say in a common way, in ordinary way, that will be easy for you to remember. How it was present in him in an ordinary way. He was so humble, he never made an attempt to exhibit it. He never made an attempt to exhibit it. There are some people who keep on blowing their trumpets. People who blow their trumpets means they keep on boasting, speak about this. Oh, I am so good at this one. I am good, so good. I am so good at patience. I have a lot of patience. I have a lot of endurance. Salvatore was not a person like that. He never made an attempt to exhibit it. Unless you notice, if you are very careful and you observe it, only you will come to know. I happened to observe it and I found he had this wonderful quality. And in case you have not guessed what the quality was, I will tell you, goodness, just goodness. By now, you must have come to know what that quality is. In case you haven't understood, grasped it, I'll tell you the quality that it is which he possessed, which others could have possessed, but they don't have, but he had it and he did not want to exhibit it. That quality is the goodness, just goodness. We call it inherent goodness. INHERENT. Inherent goodness. Inherent goodness. So that was the quality which he had. So the explanations are given there. That's all. It's over. You have a workbook. So take your workbook and read through. If you read the workbook, you'll understand some things. Now this year they have made your workbook so colorful. It's first time. This is all the other books. I think most of the books are just like what was given last year. This for the first time newly they are printing this kind of workbook. This workbook is very well done with a lot of pictures, and the whole format is changed. If you happen to have a workbook of last year, you must change it and get a new one. Those who not get it, most of you must have got it. If you haven't got it, you must get it because it's entirely different. And the questions and answers, they are all changed. Okay. So page number 7 onwards. Page number 7 onwards, Salvatore about the author, plot, theme, summary, setting, characters. They have given the character of Salvatore, Asunda, then critical appreciation, title, style, message. Then you have short answer questions. Now, as you know that I already told you, the question answers will be little different from what you learned in 10th class. 10th class you had only contest questions, passages. Here you'll have to write essays. Now, of late, they seem to be favoring this kind of essays more. In the beginning, class 11th, we had only single question and answer. So they had only essays, 4 essays, 20 marks for project work and 80 marks for essay, each one 20 marks. It was like that earlier. Now it is changed. The pattern is changed. Now it's only 15 marks. And newly they have introduced, only a year before they introduced this type of question. If you have a book with you, take a question, page number 13. Page number 13. Page number 13. That is questions having 3 parts, A, B, and C. I think in 10th class, you were given one question from the story of this type. You used to have all contest questions with 5 or 6 questions, I think. Then there was one question with A, B, C, 3 parts, and each part had a separate marking. So like that. But now this is a trend. Newly now they are asking this kind of questions are asked more. So you have in every section, in drama and in poetry and prose, in all the 3 sections, you have this type of question. That is a question having 3 parts, A, B, and C. It is there. You have a choice. You have a choice. You have a question with single question, and you have this kind of question also. You can decide which one you write. So please go through, read through. If you have any doubt, you can just message me or ask me, phone up or ask anytime.